giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm and Boston Scientific, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Couple days out, man. Week 5. We're going to take a look at this Rams defense and how the Cowboys match up and how they should approach this Rams defense. There's some holes in there. They got some stars. It's studded. They got a good scheme, good coach. But there's some holes in there, man. Still a solid little squad, though. I got a particular stat that I think plays in the Cowboys' favor that I want to get to when we break down this whole thing. In the roundup, we got more injury updates, obviously, and the first injury report came out, so we'll get to that. And it should be a fairly easy show today, y'all. It shouldn't be too long. I know I say that all the time, but I'm dead serious this time. 351-999-3787 is the call-in line if you want to call in, talk about whatever you want to talk about. We'll also have a first word. I usually don't do first word for Kellen Moore, but we'll do a first word. He talks about wide receivers and a chess match in the league with these wide receiver ones, and that'll transition into the breakdown of the Rams defense. But what up, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
What's good with y'all, man? What's good? Cold Jelly says, Sky, stop lying. I think that's CJ. Stop lying about a short show. I'm for real. It's very straightforward today, man. Very straightforward. The only reason it'll go longer is if y'all allow it to go longer. So we'll do the roundup. Got the first word. We're gonna break down this Rams defense, and then we good, man. We good. You know what I'm saying? We hit 19K. I didn't even wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait. Wow, we did hit 19K for now. We might lose some, you know how I go. But man, shout out to all of the Bomb Squad members here on the channel. Congratulations. Not just to the A to Z Sports Dallas YouTube channel, but to y'all. Like this is definitely a big accomplishment. 20K is going to be super big accomplishment. We on our way though, so appreciate y'all, man. Let me give you a bomb, man. 19K. I remember me and Sosa started this damn channel with like 30 subscribers, and that was just from friends and family when I needed to start over the new channel. And that was less than 2 years ago. So it's crazy to see this experience. Y'all the man. Y'all the man. You damn right, Scotty. Mr. Jab, 1 hour and 45 minutes later. Y'all, all right, whatever, man. Y'all right. Y'all know how I get. But let's hit this roundup.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for.
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it. Hey, oh, they do it.
Hey. Yo. Nothing changes from the Dak Prescott situation from yesterday. Pretty much everything is the same. The only update we got from Mike McCarthy is that yesterday he was working with the rehab group, and the next step is to get enough strength in the hand to throw the football. So pretty cut and dry with Dak. We figured he'd be out. That's why nothing really changed here in the roundup with Dak Prescott. I'm starting to think maybe not even the Eagles game, but we'll revisit that next week. So maybe it'll be Detroit, but it definitely won't be this week. That's for sure. But more importantly, those who may be playing this week on the injury report, it was kind of a lengthy one in a way, but in a good way. Some of them, right? Like Noah Brown was a full participant. Dalton Schultz, a full participant after his knee situation. Connor McGovern, full participant. But then you had guys like Jordan Lewis who did not practice. interesting. They really didn't come out and say, Jay Lou is going to be out for weeks. They just said, yeah, he's dealing with the groin, and we'll see what happens. So I'm wondering if he's not going to be out that long. But if it's a groin injury that took him out in pregame, I'd at least sit him down for a week, no? At least one. But Jordan Lewis didn't practice. Dono was limited. Before you'll get worried. Before practice, I think McCarthy came out, or at least it was reported that this was more of a maintenance thing. I think it's because Dono's been playing a lot of snaps. We know he's a kamikaze out there. He throws his body around. The biggest knock on Donovan Wilson really has nothing to do with his play. Is he gets banged up. So I think they're just trying to monitor Donovan Wilson. But when you are a limited participant, you must be put on the injury report, and you must be put on the injury report for something, and they listed it as an ankle. I'm not taking this anything too crazy right now. I guess we do have to monitor it, though, right? But Donovan Wilson was a limited participant. And then Quentin Bohanna was limited with a neck and now shoulder. I hate this for Bo. I mean, I think he's going to play. I haven't heard anything that he's not going to play. But I don't want to see things pile on. Last week, it was neck. This week, it's shoulder. I wonder if the shoulder became a little bit more vulnerable because of the neck. Hip bone connected to the, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want now next week is something else because I said this to you guys before. I think Quentin Bohanna has been your second best defensive lineman on this team. I think he's been your best interior defensive lineman for sure. DeMarcus Lawrence being number one and then Q being number two from a down in, down out basis. I think he's been fantastic. So I would hate to lose him. Carlos Watkins would be the next guy up, but there's not another body type like a Quentin Bohanna on the team right now. 6'5", 6'4", 330, 40 pounds, right? Whatever he is at this point. So I don't want to lose Bo. So I don't mind him being limited and taking his time, getting right for the games. I just don't want to see this every week is all. You know what I mean? And then Malik Hooker was full. I guess he had a thumb issue. Not the same as Dak, but a thumb issue. But the one that stood out to me, Jake Ferguson did not practice. I don't like that because we do rely on the two tight end set. I like Hendershot. We all like Hendershot, but we all agree Jake Ferguson, he might be your best blocking tight end, period. So to see Jake Ferguson up there as a DNP, I'm going to be interested to see what happens today. Thursday is a very important day because it's only Thursday, Friday, and then you get ready for the game flying out Saturday. So we'll see what's up with Jake Ferguson. No Jabril Cox on the injury report. I saw somebody in here say that. Yes. Carlos Watkins will be the guy to bring up Will Anthony. The neck is the knee of the head, says Sam. You had to be there. Or you had to watch Jameis Winston. Interview was hilarious. Then finally, the Cowboys did make a few roster moves. They signed Will Grier from the practice squad to the 53-man roster. Now, remember, they called him up 3 times already. You can't do it anymore after that. They have to either be on the team or they remain on the practice squad for the rest of the season, or unless you cut somebody. Well, long snapper Jake McQuaid went to injured reserve because of that torn tricep. So they had a roster spot open. They decided to sign Will Grier full time for now to the roster. So the Cowboys technically are carrying 3 quarterbacks. What did they do with the other spots on the practice squad? They signed 2 long snappers. I didn't even mention the other guy, and my apologies, but they signed 2 long snappers to put on the practice squad. Now, what they'll probably do is play roster gymnastics with one of them, probably Matt Overton. They'll call him up for 3 weeks in a row, and then once we get to that 4th week, we'll see what's happening. Is somebody else going to be on injury reserve? Do they cut somebody else? Does somebody get hurt? So they're definitely doing the roster gymnastics that we figured they'd do before the season. Is just continuing due to all the injuries adding up. All right. So that is this morning's roundup. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Hallelujah says long snapper is, I say hallelujah, but it is hallelujah, is a serious position. I tell you, it was me and Mo on Twitter. I think it was somebody that came in and said, well, why don't you put a center? That's what the guy said. Why don't you put a center at long snapper? I said, well, centers don't go down and cover. Centers don't go down and, you know what I'm saying? They don't go down and tackle. The long snappers have to do that sometimes. And it's not as easy as we think. I know we kind of scoff over some of these positions, kicker, punter. It's fun to kind of have a little fun with it. But if you get a bad long snapper, that affects your punting, that affects your kicking. And guess who your leading scorer of the team is this year? Your kicker. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really mess around with that. I agree with you. It's serious enough to where I think the Cowboys looking at it as, well, we better get two guys in here, because what if this one guy doesn't work? We have somebody that is working with Maher, working with Anger, working with the guys next to him on the practice squad. So, yeah, I'm with you. Snap distance, absolutely. Joe Sandberg says snap distance is different for sure. I'd imagine centers probably are the emergency guys, right? But you don't want them to be the guy all the time. Steven said Lindstrom. I think he's still on the roster, but I don't know if he'd be a long snapper per se, right? Peter said we should see if LP can come out of retirement. You know, somebody said this last year. Was it last year when that happened? I can't remember. There's like, were the Cowboys being petty? Because LP Ladouceur would have broken Jason Witten's record for most games started for a Dallas Cowboy, if I'm not mistaken, yo. Do you think they wanted to go into the record book with a long snapper having that record, or the prestigious Jason Witten, Cowboys tight end, Jay Novacek, you know what I mean? Mike Ditka, following that tradition of Cowboys tight ends? It's petty, but it might make a little bit of sense, though. It might make a little bit of sense. Micah Parsons, long snapper. Man, he could do whatever he wants. I really, truly do believe that. All right, y'all. Let's, I told y'all, we're going to get through this thing, man. Got stuff to do. Let's get to the first word as we get ready to preview this Cowboys offense against the Rams defense. I like the other matchup much better, but as long as the Cowboys stay the course, and that's the title of the thumbnail here, stay the course, the balanced approach, play action, things like that, I think they can do enough to put enough points on the board. But let's not get it twisted, though. They may need to put more points on the board, just so that they don't put too much pressure on this defense every single week. But let's listen to Kellen Moore. He talks about the chess match of having a wide receiver one and pass defenses dealing with that. And then I'll talk about why I think that's going to be an important thing with, Raheem Morris as a defensive coordinator. So here's the first word.
I think it's the great balancing act of passing games is, you want to have a number one, you want to have premier guys, but you got to have the depth, because I think defenses do a tremendous job. Not a lot of people just sitting there playing, standard coverage a whole lot. If you got a premier guy, they're going to do a lot of coverage adjustments and put their premier guys on your guys. And so there's a chess match here going on. And so when you do have that third and fourth option, that's where, the depth of a receiver room becomes critical. They create matchups and opportunities versus, some other guys that maybe you feel better about. And so there's always ones for reasons in this league. You want to get them the ball, you want to utilize them. But there are, extremely talented defenses who do a really good job scheming, and it's important to make sure you have those third and fourth options.
If Kellen could look into this chat right now, he'd be...
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
Listen, I know we have fun with Kellen, but I thought this was relevant to the game plan. Guys, come on, man. Toxic said, Kellen, you are not playing chess. Well, I think he's going to have to be a little bit more creative this week. Let's get into this Rams defense, man. This is their key players, and we'll break down all these guys as we break down this defense. But these are the main guys for me: Leonard Floyd, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, led by Raheem Morris. A star-studded team defensively, really offensively too, but defensively, a star-studded team, but they've had their cracks in this defense. At the same time, it's also not a bad defense either. This is a really weird start for this Rams defense when you look at it and when you really micro manage or take a micro look into their defense. You look at their rushing defense, right? 8th in rush yards per attempt, but then you look at their sack percentage, they're 25th. And it is shocking to me to see that, because a guy like Leonard Floyd, and we'll talk about him later, was a premier pass rusher for the last 2 years. And then you got Aaron Donald, and then Raheem can dial up some blitzes too, and they haven't been getting home. So it's a weird start for this Rams defense. And let's talk about that run defense, because the Cowboys may be running into, no pun intended, a similar situation as last week, where they may test Kellen Moore's patience. They may test Kellen Moore's chess ability, because at the end of the day, this is a solid run defense, right? They're top 10, but they ain't ironclad. All right, we talk about 8th in rush yards per attempt. They give up 92 yards per game, which ranks 7th in the league. But versus the Niners, if we go back and look at the Niners game and look at how Wilson did, he went off for that one carry, 32 yards for a touchdown, which made his average 4.1 yards per carry, 74 yards. But the other carries, he averaged 2.4 yards per carry. I think the thing you want to look at there is that they kept running it. They ran it, I believe, 22 times in that game, threw it less than 30, so they try to remain balanced, right? They try to remain balanced. By the way, that touchdown run that he had was just an amazing trap, amazing design, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. So how are they doing it? Because, they got guys like Aaron Donald, N'Shawn Robinson up front. Yes, those guys are guys. But Bobby Wagner has had a lot to say about that as well. They use some safeties down there sometimes as well, although there's a lot of off coverage and passing we'll get to in a second. But Bobby Wagner, we all know Bobby Wagner. He's top 10 in run stop percentage right now, and he hasn't been docked for a missed tackle just quite yet. So he's still Bobby Wagner. Is he the all-pro guy from yesteryear? Probably not, but he damn sure ain't a liability. I'll tell you that. He hasn't been a liability at the very least. So he's definitely a factor in this for sure. Now, when I get to the pass defense, and obviously, as you guys can see here, I watched the Cardinals game and I watched the Niners game, and I came away, here's that run I was talking about with Wilson. Shanahan's just a beast with these calls, by the way. But I came away noticing that these guys play a lot of off coverage. A lot of off coverage. So that quick game is going to be available. And two things that Jimmy G, specifically, we talking about that quarterback that just played the Rams, that Jimmy G and Cooper Rush have in common is they want to get rid of the ball fast. But they also miss big opportunities because of it. So there's the gift and the curse with both of these guys, right? I watched the Niners and I watched the Cardinals have success with that screen game, and then you'll see stuff like this where because they want to get rid of the ball so fast, because they're determined to go, they miss wide open opportunities. And Jimmy G did that a few times in this game. And you look at the final score, you'll see they scored 22 thanks to stuff like this from a guy like Debo. But it wasn't like these guys were just running up and down and scoring touchdowns all over these boys. Not last week at the very least. But they did enough offensively because they got a damn good defense. But nonetheless, there were chances in this game to really open it up. Here's another one. That getting the ball out so fast, you missed the wide open, and Juszczyk is like, I was wide open. So I'm sure they're going to see these things. And me and Professor O was talking about that play specifically. If you're going to run a lot of tunnel screens or a lot of smoke screens or getting the ball out fast at the line of scrimmage because they're playing off coverage, you can set that up. We talk about running with a purpose. I think every play should be ran with a purpose, in my opinion, to be honest. But, man, between the Cardinals game and this Niners game, it was there all day. When they play off coverage, just throw it out there. They were getting chunk yardage. all day. Now, that's from a schematic standpoint. From a player standpoint, getting back to the guys, Leonard Floyd, listen, we can't really sleep on this cat, man. He had 23 sacks over the last 2 seasons and 68 pressures. This is nobody to snooze on. But he's been shut out so far in the sack department this year. So I know he's eager to get on the board. Just don't let it be this Sunday, right? Just don't let him get going this week. Eventually it'll happen, but don't let it be now. We know about Aaron Donald. Do we really need to? He's one of the greatest defensive players of all time. Don't let one of the greatest defensive players of all time ruin your offense. That's Aaron Donald. So just make sure you take care of him as best as you can. Ramsey, not having a bad year at all. He's having a good year, but he's not making a ton of crazy plays either. Again, if he plays in off coverage, he can be had. Hell, the one thing I wish I had more confidence in with this matchup with Jalen Ramsey on CeeDee Lamb or Jalen Ramsey on Michael Gallup is the deep ball outside the numbers. You can throw the deep ball on Jalen, but that's not where Cooper Rush thrives at right now. Not outside the numbers. Right now, he's 1 for 9, and we obviously know the arm strength is an issue when it comes to that. So I wonder if the Rams will approach this like, hey, we dare you to throw it deep on us outside the numbers. I know Trayvon Diggs plays that way. He plays that trail technique a bit like, hey, I want you to try me. Try me. You know what I'm saying? I want you to try me. I don't know what the Rams are going to do in that case, but that's the matchup I would be looking forward to if you had a Dak Prescott. I think you'd have opportunities down the field outside the numbers. But where Rush has been doing well at is in the intermediate routes, right? That's where he's been really good. And I wonder how much they're going to test Ramsey and those boys on the in the intermediate game. I think he can have some success. Just got to be careful. Where are they really good at? Maybe the best at besides the run game. And it's been in the red zone so far. They're the number 7. They're the number 7. They're the 7th ranked NFL team, NFL red zone defense so far. So when they drive down the field, they're only giving up field goals. In this Cardinals game, they gave up 4 field goals. The Cardinals were moving, and they just kept kicking field goals. The Cowboys are 18th in the last 3 games in the red zone. Last year, they were 6th. So this is going to be kind of strength against weakness. Dallas is going to have to punch these things in. We don't want to get into a field goal fest, even though our defense is amazing. Again, I just don't like putting that much pressure on them week in, week out. I would love to see this offense come out like it did against the Cincinnati Bengals. Get up 13 points. I know that's not an easy task, but if you can get up 13 points, that makes things so much easier moving forward and puts more pressure, obviously, on Matt Stafford, who we talked about yesterday, who likes to give you the rock. But the stat that stands out the most about this Rams defense that the Cowboys have been doing at a very high rate is play action. Teams are completing 90% of their passes on the Rams out of play action. 18 for 20 for 1 touchdown and 10 first downs with just 3 stops. There was a pretty dope video that was going around on NFL Live on Twitter, and I know some of y'all know what I'm talking about. It was Dan Orlovsky. When he's not doing that weird Dan Orlovsky thing, he's a smart guy. Ryan Clark, Mina Kimes. Love me some Mina Kimes on NFL Live. And Swagoo. We all love Swagoo. They were talking about things we've been saying for I don't know how long for the Cowboys, guys. The difference of being under center and being in shotgun and just all the details from a defensive lineman standpoint, from a defensive back standpoint, from a quarterback standpoint, and trying to mirror your run game with your pass game. And it was a fantastic segment. And I just came away saying, we've been asking for this in Dallas for a long time. Get under center. because it makes things more difficult from a read standpoint for defensive linemen. They have to kind of hold a little bit. They talked about how the ball disappears in play action. We talk about play action. The play action game has had a crazy uptick over the last 3 weeks in Dallas. Crazy. That shouldn't stop, and it shouldn't stop around the league. I think it was one of the writers asked guys around the league about this, and they said, we don't understand why there's not more play action. I'm with you. I don't get it either. Especially when you have, and speaking of the Cowboys, especially when you have a Ezekiel Elliott and a Tony Pollard. Those are two damn good running backs. Used together can be a threat. And the reason why we talk about balance a lot is because you don't necessarily have to be successful for play action to work. You just have to give the impression to the defense that you're willing to run, or you're willing to run play action. And I always go back to week 1 when Devin White said, we didn't believe these dudes were going to stick to it. And because of that belief, they played that way within the play action and it didn't work. So just a really good segment. I would definitely urge you guys to go take a look at that segment on Twitter if you get a chance. I almost took it and put it on here, but it's a 9-minute segment. And it's worth every single second to watch that. You learn a lot there. You get inside the minds of the NFL players, and it's pretty cool. So I'm with that. Get under center more. We've seen it with Cooper Rush. More play action. Don't change. That's what I mean. Stay the course. Stay the course. This week, stay the course. Next week, stay the course. When Dak gets back, stay the course, because this is what works. And then when teams counter, that's when you come back with a counter punch. Let's get to these phone lines right quick. Of course, the Pulse of the Nation is presented by none other than the Cochran Firm. If you're driving on the way to work, or if you already have driven to work and you're dealing with this Texas traffic and somebody hit you with a fender bender, or, you know, you had to pull over to the side, you got a flat, or because somebody made you go off the road, call my guys, Larry and Brian at the Cochran Firm. They will help you out. They'll help you out with that. They'll help you out with personal injury lawsuits, wrongful death, truck and automobile accidents, class action, anything you could think of. They'll fight for you, and they'll fight for this DFW area community that they've been serving since 2005. So hit up the Cochran Firm at 1-800-THE-FIRM, or schedule your visit today at CochranTexas.com. Looks like we got New York in the building. What up, New York?
You talking to me?
We got 917.
Hello?
New York, you in the building? What up?
Oh, what's up, Phil? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you?
Good. This is my second time calling in, so I'm super excited.
Appreciate you calling, man.
Thank you. I have two things. The first thing I would like to start is, I know I've been hearing a lot of people thinking that this defense could be the best in the NFL, and I love the talk. But my only discrepancy is, I feel like in order for us to be undisputed, the number one defense in the NFL, we have to fix up these huge gash runs that we keep getting, you know?
Yeah.
And I believe we lead the league. Yeah, I believe we lead the league in explosive runs given up.
We do.
I feel like if we clean that up, we're the best defense in football.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that is the one, we talk about this on the Cowboys 4th and Long podcast, actually. That is the one Achilles heel. That's the one weakness for the Cowboys defense. I do personally think that it's fixable, because if you look at some of these gashes, a lot of them come from just bad run fits, and then people, you know, doing a lot of eye candy stuff. But the problem is that's not going to stop, right? The eye candy stuff is just not going to stop. You're about to run up against a team that does that. Next week, you're going to run up against another team that does that. But you're right, man. And I think we talked about this in the offseason. This defense has the potential to be the undisputed best defense in the NFL. But I think to do that, you do have to lock down as a run defense, because when you get into the playoffs, a lot of the times you see the Niners, right? They're getting by because they're making teams become one-dimensional. And last year, we were making teams become one-dimensional because our offense was just scoring so many points, and teams were scared to be like, let's slow this game down, because if we don't convert, they're going to run us out this building, right? We're coming back from double-digit deficits. This year, we're going into the fourth quarters in just about every game, and these are tightly contested games because our offense isn't putting things away until we get into the fourth quarters. And in the Giants case and in the Cincinnati case, they weren't put away to the very end. So, yeah, man, I'm with you. We got to be able to make these teams one-dimensional throughout the entire game, not just a half.
Right, and my word level on that specifically is not, because I believe Dan Quinn. I believe in him fully to make the adjustments, whether that's making Micah rush less and making do a little more horizontal work from sideline to sideline to stop the runs. Whatever he may do, I trust Dan Quinn. But the last thing I would like to say before I get off is, you know what really hurts my heart, Phil? Right now, I feel like we would be the number one team in the entire NFL as opposed to the Eagles if Jerry Jones didn't have his little personal issues and get rid of Amari Cooper and try to throw these underlying legalities into Randy Gregory's contract. Because if we still had Randy Gregory with his defense and Amari Cooper with his offense, I feel like we're the best team in football.
I'll switch it up. Coop obviously he's going to make this offense better because he's Coop. But instead of Randy, because technically we listen. Randy is always going to be dealing with something, right? And that right now he's dealing with something again. It was Von Miller for me, you know. That's Von Miller as opposed to Randy. You could have just paid a couple extra bucks, but yeah, you know your defense goes to an even another crazy level. Granted, are you missing any of those dudes? Not really. You're still top 3 defense in the league right now, and maybe you could even argue instead of Von Miller, maybe a Bobby Wagner, because we're talking about run defense, right? A guy that can be a striker. Bobby Wagner maybe is the more important guy in this equation, but
absolutely.
But yeah, Coop would definitely. You still have your 3-headed monster. You still have that, in my opinion, the whole how do you want it situation. Like, all right, you want to play us the run? We got 3 guys that can beat you behind you, right? You want to play the pass? We'll run the rock. So, but hey, can't whine over spilled milk, right?
Right. Hey, listen, I didn't think we'd be 3-1 thus far, so I'm just enjoying the ride.
Yeah.
I appreciate everything that you're doing for the community. You by far have the most professional, smooth run. I'm not to make it a competition, but it's just, in my opinion, it's not even a comparison between you and everybody else. So I just appreciate everything you're doing and have a great show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you, dog.
No problem.
Love the kind words, man. 3, 2, 1, hold tight. I'm going to get you, man. Yeah, I don't think we're missing. I mean, you're 3-1, right? I mean, are you technically missing anybody? Technically, no. When you're 3-1. And listen, we're preparing for the Rams, so I don't really want to go back to the offseason. You know how I say, listen, we got to make fun and have fun. Once we get to a certain point, though, it's time to prepare for each team. But yeah, would love to add a piece, and maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll get to do the Cowboys have a bye week before or after the trade deadline? Just curious, real quick. I think it's after. I'll let me know. I can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, I think it's after. So it's after. So I mean, if you get around that bye week, around the trade deadline, then you start talking about, hey, what deal can you make, a la like the Rams did last year, to help put you over the top? Maybe Roquan Smith. Maybe he's still out there. We'll see what happens at that point in time. You should have at least 2 or 3 games with Dak Prescott. So we'll see if maybe you need another weapon to add to this thing. But yeah, I'm always about adding more talent. Period. All right, let's get to 3, 2, 1, and I'm not counting down. That's the number here. 3, 2, 1. What up? What's good with you?
Not much, man. This is new. So, I was thinking about it as I was watching the 49ers game on Monday.
My man.
You know what separates?
Do you have me on speaker? 1 second. Do you have me on speaker? I can barely, kind of low.
You hear me now?
I can hear you, but you're kind of low.
Can you hear me now? Is it better now?
That's a little better. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I noticed something about when I was watching the 49ers game on Monday. And you know the difference between their defense and our defense is? I noticed that when they attack the ball carriers, I noticed that when they attack the ball carriers, they're a little bit more violent to the point of attack.
I see the way how we play. When we sack quarterbacks, we sack them kind of nice. When they sack quarterbacks, they sack them violent.
Huh? I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. I think Micah. There's nothing nice about Micah Parsons when he sacks a quarterback. There's nothing nice about Dorrance Armstrong. I mean, did you see what he did to Joe Burrow? He bear hugged that dude and fell on top of his head. Neville Gallimore tried to destroy Carson Wentz. I thought you were going somewhere else. So you had me in the first half. So I disagree with you on that. Where I would, if I can correct you, where I do think they attack better and what separates their defense from our defense is their linebackers are way better than the Cowboys linebackers. Like their linebackers are way more aggressive. They're a bunch of strikers and dogs. They're more athletic. They're much more sure in that scheme. That's personally where I think we separate ourselves. But behind our linebackers and in front of our linebackers, I think you got a bunch of just dogs salivating at the mouth. I mean, J-Rock, Hooker, Dono, they all hit. Micah, Dorrance. You want to talk about nice? Did you see Dante Fowler, how he closed down on people? Bohanna, hey, dog, I don't know, man.
No, that's what I was going to say. We have some players who play with that violence, but I wish every player, every tackle play with that violence. And
let me ask you this: who do you think does not play with violence in the front? Because you're talking about the front, right? Like who plays? I don't know if you're saying soft, but who doesn't play with violence in the front?
So I'm not saying the front. I'm not saying the pass rush. I'm just saying in general, like our players, when we get to ball carriers, I want them to feel us when we're going to hit them. I want the runners to going to brace themselves every time they get ready. They're going to get hit. Like, I don't know. It's like kind of hard to explain because, like, how can I say? Do you remember how timid people were when they played Seattle, when they had the Legion of Boom, and how hard they just hit people and made people just not want to catch the ball or just run to them? They got down immediately.
I promise you, you're probably thinking about how the linebackers in San Fran attack, brother. I promise you, like that the backers are exactly what you're describing. Like their front is really good too, and D'Amico Ryans has that team, playing with a violent, physical style. But I'd argue so does Dan Quinn. Like I mean, I argue Dan Quinn has our secondary and our defensive line playing with that same violence. It's just our linebackers aren't built that way right now, except Micah Parsons. But our linebackers aren't built that way. But hey, I'll go back and check. But I mean, just off the top of my head, the only difference I see is the way their backers play compared to the way the Cowboys backers play. Our backers are not like that. They ain't built like those dudes.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I guess that's probably what my main gripe is about the defense, that the linebackers aren't as aggressive and they don't play with the mean streak like they should play. Because linebackers, you have to be one of the meanest dogs on the field to play linebacker. And it's like we have poodles. Sometimes I feel like we have poodles outside of Micah.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's like Micah Micah's a pit bull, but it's like Leighton's a poodle. It's like Anthony Barr. He's like that old dog from the shed that is a little up there in age, and he's doing what he can, but. I mean, I want to see us get better at that position as the season progresses. I guess that's what I'm saying.
No, listen, you're not. I don't think you're wrong in the sense of, I won't go as far call them poodles or whatever, but you're not wrong in the sense of our backers don't seem to be as aggressive as the Niners backers, and I don't. Again, we had a very good conversation. If you want to go look at it on the volume yesterday with me and Vach, my question was, is this schematic? Is this Dan Quinn saying, hey, we don't want you, which I can't believe that, but is this Dan Quinn saying, hey, we just want y'all to kind of just be where you need to be, just don't give up a big play and things like that? And I get that part of a scheme, but I think what separates an average player to a good or a good player to great is being able to make plays within said responsibilities, being able to react and have the wherewithal or the IQ to see it click and go and make a damn play. and not tackle somebody 7, 8, 9 yards down the field. So, it's fine to be like, all right, we're going to try to make this thing come back inside. But if you clearly see there's a massive gap in the lane right there, go make the play, right? Go make the play. So, I don't want to revert back to yesterday, but I'd argue go look at the Niners linebackers, go look at the Cowboys linebackers. There's a difference in how they approach their assignments, in my opinion.
All right, my friend. Thank you for taking my call.
No, great, man. Great call. Good discussion, too. Appreciate you. Yeah. Niners, somebody in the chat, I think it was below, he was like, I think he said something like, I hate to say it, but the Niners have the best defense. I probably would not even argue with you with that, man, because let me go check something real quick. I want to make sure I stand on one of the things I said about our defense being that kind of defense, right? Let me make sure. Okay, there's that. Oh, there you go. All right. Probably only got to search no more. They're second in the league in rush yards per game. Okay. But, yards can be weird because we were similar before because the ball control can make it that way. So I like to look at yards per attempt. I don't want that one. I want yards per attempt. This is why the Niners are who they are. They're number 1 in the league, man. You're averaging 2.9 yards per carry. And when I say if you're going to lean on the ground, you got to have a defense, right? Not just a good defense, not just the top defense. Even elite might be wrong. You got to have one of them ones. And I truly believe to have one of them ones, you can't be run on. Because no matter how good you are guarding the pass, you can still be susceptible to the play action. You can still be susceptible to getting in ugly games, as we saw last year. And if you get put in ugly games, that just makes this a harder avenue to get to where you want to get to. So, and you make teams one-dimensional. I keep saying it, but if you can make teams one-dimensional, whether it be offensively because you're scoring or defensively because you cannot run. And not even run efficiently, right? Like some teams be like, I'm cool with running 17 times. If I'm averaging 4.1, 4.2 yards per carry, that's still technically efficient. As long as I bust off a 7, 8, 9 yarder, or maybe I hit a 15 yarder. But if I'm staying in front of the sticks, that's efficient. Some offenses operate in that way where they're going to throw the ball 35 times a game because that's what they do. That their scheme is best that way. Their players are suited for that. But if you're going to run the rock 25, 27, 30 times per game, and you're a defense like the Cowboys, you can't be 28th in yards per carry, right? You can't give up 100 yards in the first half. You can't allow Saquon Barkley to score on a 40-yard touchdown. You can't allow Leonard Fournette to get a $127, right? If you're going to be one of them ones. So if there's an Achilles heel, sure, right now through 4 weeks, that's it. We had a super chat. Somebody wanted me to look up something. Let me shout you out, though, real quick. I think Below the Heavens. Appreciate you, Below the Heavens. If somebody got this stat, they can.
Super chat.
He says, Sky, can you check the Seahawks run defense rankings when Quinn was there? Thanks. I'm at work. Can't look it up right now. Sure, I'll look it up. Let me get to 346 while I look that up. What's good, 346?
Yeah, I was interested in your perspective on the rookie being activated out of his I don't know what you would call it, a 23-day.
Damone Clark.
3-day. Yeah. As far as going up against the run, I think he's going to be perfect with his speed and athleticism, his willingness to tackle. I think he can get sideline to sideline along with Micah. It's going to look awesome, man, when he gets on the field. I'm just so surprised that he's getting up to speed so soon. I thought we had a while yet to go on him.
Yeah, when Damone was drafted, he was one of those guys that I talk about often, that we don't have right now, a striker, a guy who wants that smoke. And he has the athleticism, and he's a very smart dude. They gave him that number in LSU for a reason. If y'all don't know about that number, go look it up at LSU. Damone Clark, I think, is that quintessential middle linebacker that'll help you know, mitigate not having Micah at middle, right? I just wish he was healthy when we drafted him, but technically, if he was healthy, probably goes in the second round, and you don't get a chance to get him. But yeah, man, Damone Clark, I don't think we'll see him this year, bro. Like, I think they'll maybe activate him, and he'll play special teams. For whatever reason, they're just not rolling with the Bucs, and it could be because they want these guys to be assignment sound, and you do need players like that. But I don't think there is another level to the backers that we have right now playing opposite of Micah. And maybe we'll get to the end of the season and you don't need that, right? Maybe they'll continue to be a solid defense without a top defense without that. But I think Damone Clark will definitely has a potential to take you to another level from a run defense standpoint and a middle linebacker standpoint.
If I understand you right, you said you don't think he'll play this year?
I don't think he'll play defense, if that makes sense. Okay. I think he may play special teams. And the only reason,
because of the guys that we already have on field?
The only reason why I say that, because I don't have right now, right? We're 4 games in. Has Jabril Cox seen the field? Has Devin Harper seen the field? Hell, Luke Gifford hasn't seen the field. So I don't know how I'm supposed to expect a guy who missed all of preseason, all of training camp, all of rookie mini camp, just now gets back on the practice field, and now we're just going to throw him into the defense. In Madden, that might make sense, but in reality, I don't know if he may be too far behind to get significant snaps. I could be dead wrong.
What's the advantage of? I'm sorry. What's the advantage of activating him now, as opposed to letting him stay where he's at? Has his window just come where they have to do this, or?
Yep. They're approaching that. I think it's 6 weeks. I could be wrong. You can let me know. The NFI, I think you get around that 6-week period. You have to decide. Okay, here's the activation window. Now you got 21 days, either to put him on the roster or put him back on the NFI list for the rest of the season.
Gotcha. Okay, then I understood it wrong. Okay. Well, thanks.
No problem. Appreciate you calling in, bro. Yeah, I'm excited about Damone Clark's future and the future of this linebacker position. You know what I mean? So, 2013, the Seahawks were 7th in rushing yards and 7th in yards per attempt, 3.9. That was his first season as defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. 2014, the Seahawks rushing defense was 3rd in yards and 2nd in yards per attempt at 3.4. So, they had good run defenses. But, obviously that was almost a decade ago, right? Yeah, about a decade ago. The game has changed. The game changes really fast on your ass. But the game has changed. The player positions have changed. I don't even think it's the front. I'm gonna just be real. I don't. We got to remember those guys had peak prime Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright. I want to say Bruce Irvin too. I mean, their linebackers were ridiculous. In fact, I'd argue our front. This isn't even arguable. We talked about this before. Our front is better than our linebackers, whereas I believe the combination of Irvin, Wagner, KJ, and yes, Cam Chancellor was better than their front, which is no knock. Brandon Mabine was good. I think they had a Red Bryant at that time, right? Michael Bennett. They had good guys. Cliff Averill. Their front was complimentary, I think, though. Where I think this is flipped. I think the Cowboys front, I don't necessarily think they're doing a bad job against the run. I just don't think we got the backers right now to deal with a mishap or a misstep or something like that. And before people kill me, because let me tell y'all what I found out yesterday. And if you missed Vach Lombardi, if you missed our show yesterday, Vach Lombardi Live, it was a blast. It was hilarious. But we had real conversations too. So there's people in this Cowboys Nation community or world or whatever, I don't even want to call them part of the community, that think Vach only likes certain players or player, we're talking about Dak because he's black, right? And we had a little fun with that. But then I found out somebody thinks I don't like white players because we're critiquing LVE. So I look at the comment section and he turns this thing into a whole race thing. He's like, well, I don't think he likes LVE and because he's white. Sir, if I had video footage of when LVE was all pro LVE, then he goes on to say, well, he also said that Cooper Kupp wouldn't be the biggest test for Trayvon Diggs because he's white. What? Come on, bro. Where you at?
What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
What is wrong with y'all? Like, for real. Is y'all that mad that we critique these dudes? I don't give a dang if they black, white, Puerto Rican, or Haitian. If you play good, we'll talk about it. If you play bad, I'm going to talk about it. Jeremy Lin could suit up for the Dallas Cowboys at quarterback, and if he gets us to the Super Bowl, Lin Mania all over again. I don't care. Now, Uncut Coat. Vach put me on something super deep that I'm not even going to bring up on here, but super deep about situations like that. I would urge you guys to go listen to Bomani Jones talk about that, man. Whew, a fantastic opinion on that situation. But I ain't apologizing, Milan. Not at all. To me, he just showed his true colors. That's all that is. He just showed his true colors. All right, let's get back to this Cowboys matchup here with this Rams offense and defense. Let me ask y'all a question. What is the biggest concern going into this game, whether it be offense or defense? As a matter of fact, we'll just do both. What is your biggest concern going into this game in this matchup? Because I think this is a winnable game without a shadow of a doubt. I think this is a winnable game. But what I want to caution is that we are catching the Rams at a great time. I love that. But I don't think you can underestimate a championship pedigree. And what we have to also remember is that they were in a weird point like this last year. They were in a weird point like this last year, and they dug themselves out of it. I don't want this week to be that week. I don't want this week to be the week they dig themselves out of their slump. Hey, Marquise. Hey, man. Listen. Toxic said, my concern is that our offense won't be able to score or have long drives against this defense. Fair. Cowboys offense third downs are still a problem. I had another guy in the chat talking about how much better the Cowboys third down defense has been since Cooper Rush has taken over. Again, you don't have to lie. The Dallas Cowboys are in the bottom third of the NFL in third downs. Like, I mean, we don't gotta lie, man. But that is a concern, which is why I think they need to stay the course and continue. I know it might suck to only get maybe 3 yards when you run the rock, but they are susceptible to the play action game and they are susceptible to the fake screen game. I think it was Professor Oda hit me up and said, yo, that fake screen you talked about in the New York Giant game, run that back. It'll be there. I agree. I think it'll be there. Drummer Cam says, can we run the ball well? Well, no one has really been able to run the ball well on a consistent basis, all game, right, against this team. I think, Drummer, this might be one of those games, again, where it's about balance, right? We might not be able to run the ball well, but we have to remain balanced because listen, I understand he's having a good little run here, but I don't think we want Cooper Rush to drop back 35 to 40 times in this game. Not this game. not this game with Aaron Donald dealing with our left guard situation. You keep, hey, you know that meme. You keep around, you gonna find out. Playing with this fire with these deep balls that keep getting intercepted or dropped with these inaccurate passes or bad decisions. We've been lucky. We've been fortunate. And I want that fortune to continue because this is the NFL, man. If you don't ever throw interceptions, that is 100% luck. That just doesn't happen. So I want that to continue. I don't want to play with that fire. You know what I mean? I thought I saw somebody talk about the motion, because that might be my number one thing is the motion. That worries me the most because our defense is really good, but we just saw it last week, man. When you get that pre-snap, post-snap action, that eye candy, our linebackers are pointing and holding for that split second, and this is a Shanahan disciple. Now, he don't do it as good as Shanahan, but he still does some amazing things, man. They have those plays where they'll have a wide receiver going one way, and the wide receiver's on the other side. They'll pull the guard, they'll have a tight end coming back, and then they'll hand it off to the wide receiver. So they do these crazy things that are going to put these linebackers and kind of on skates, to be honest. Just a matter of how quick can they recover. So that might be my number one worry, is that a team that hasn't ran the ball well finds themselves running the ball well, which then opens it up with a better quarterback than Carson Wentz, and Cooper Kupp is out there, and Tyler Higbee. You know, there's weapons out there. So that'd be my number one thing. You're right, L. You're right. All right, so jump back into the phone lines, man. 908, what it is, what it do? Hello?
You're right, Al. You're right.
908, turn down your house. You are live.
You said you hit the 908?
Yeah, I don't know if you got me on, if you're listening to me on YouTube as opposed to the phone, but turn
it down.
Yeah,
Let me turn it down. You know I'm coming back with you on. Hold up. This Coach D. Nah, I'll get you off. I'll get you off.
I'm gonna come back to you, 908. All right.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we're gonna come back to you, man. Nacho, what's up? We all just Nacho.
This guy?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
What's up, man?
Good morning, sir. How we doing, my man? How you doing? We're good?
We doing well, brother.
All right. Hey, listen. Yeah, this is going to be an intriguing football game. This is a perfect time, I believe, to catch. The Rams are in a very vulnerable position, and maybe psychologically a little bit. With Stafford and things that, they obviously haven't been playing really good football. They obviously have a lot of players, key players from last year that they don't have on the team, and injuries along the way. But my thing is, I am very intrigued what's going to happen here in the next couple weeks for our football team, and just to really see, I think what we've been kind of alluding to and talking to, in the past is, okay, what I've seen that has somewhat kind of changed a bit, or should I say maybe kind of gotten better, is the overall communication between the coaching staff and the offensive side of the ball, and just really modified our offense and just really gotten it to where this is what we do, and we're finding an identity, whereas I think the Rams are struggling with that at this point compared to us. So I like us going into this football game. My question is, okay, are we going to continue to do what we do and what we know is working and allow everything else to play itself? Or are we going to get into a football game on the road with a very smart coach and team on the other side, and then start getting too cute because we potentially fall behind? So What do you think?
That is a great question, great observation there. I love what you said. We're finding our identity. And I know Los has fun with it. He doesn't like to use the I word yet because we're not sure. And let's be completely honest. I don't think anybody is super confident that we've found our identity in the sense of this is who we are. I think we're finding, like we're in search of, and now we have a blueprint. But can Kellen Moore keep his hands off that trigger to get cute? Because I went back and I watched the that Cardinals game, and I just thought the Cardinals got way too cute. They just got way too cute in doing some run things, a whole bunch of, movement. They were just doing too much. And honestly, you could put doing too much right next to the Cardinals because with Kyler Murray, that's what they do. They just do too much. And I'll go and look at the Niners, and you might say, well, Sky, they do a lot of motion. They do all that stuff too. They do, but that is their identity. They do it, and they do it well. They do it precise, and it actually is very simple. It's just creative within their simplicity. And that's what I want Kellen to get back to, what he did in New York Giants. Don't look at what he did with New York and as cute. What he did in New York was very simplistic, but it was creative. And I think you may need to do that in this game, and which is why I say we got to stay the course, which will help find that identity, I guess.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great point you're making there. And then lastly, I'll leave you with this. So we have a Rams team that doesn't quite, at least this season, doesn't quite run the football well. And we are, of course, our defense, it looks like we are, that's our area that we need to improve on, is stopping the run in certain play design. And then here we go against Philly the following week, and I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm looking at the Rams, who do not necessarily run the football well, and then the following week, a Philadelphia team that definitely runs the football. So these two games, these 2 weeks is going to be very intriguing to see how prepared our coaching staff will have this football team ready, and what type of a game plan we're going to have. That I think is going to tell me a lot going forward. Thanks. as we hit into the stretch. But hey, listen, thank you for taking my call, and good stuff, Sky. It's always a pleasure, and obviously I haven't been calling in. My life has completely changed in terms of just busy and kind of on the go. But hey, whenever I can, I appreciate it. Have a great day.
Appreciate you, Nacho. Hope all is well with you, man. I saw my man Paul Rose said, well, where to go? Will Dak trust the process and run the plays instead of audibling? I think there's a bit of misinformation I saw somebody say this the other day after the New York game. Oh, Cooper Rush. That's funny. Is not audibling. He's not. That's false. He's still doing that. Even McCarthy came out and said they're not holding anything back in that aspect. I think the reason why you're seeing this identity or you're seeing this shift is McCarthy. He talked about the play sheet. Here's how I know Dak we'll run the ball if we get the right look, right? That's what we'll do, is because we were the leading team in running the ball for 7 weeks in the NFL last year. So we know that's not something. This was just last year. We didn't got to go back years previously. So we know he can do that. But when teams are coming out in these 4, dropping 7, and you're supposed to, we want to run into this. But when you can't block it up, now what? Now we're into 2nd and 9 or 2nd and 12. And then we know the whole story of guys playing the shell coverage. We never figured it out. Dak never figured it out. Kellen never figured it out. But I don't think there should be a question of, will he stick with the play call? I think we have to understand some of these runs are checked into as well, right? So they go to the line of scrimmage with 2, sometimes 3 plays. And I wonder if McCarthy has went onto this play sheet, and I know for a fact he's went to the play sheet and said, no more with these damn option routes. Because you see these wide receivers running precise, now I want to say basic, but common route tree routes. He came out and said, man, this is the most aggressive option route offense I've ever seen. But, we're going to go back. We're going to be smarter. We're going to look at this play sheet a little bit more with Kellen, and what have we seen? We haven't seen trick plays. We're not seeing a bunch of hitches all game. We're seeing more shots downfield. We're seeing when we go into play action, these routes are progressing downfield. So, yeah, I don't think he'll have a problem with that. I think where he had a problem with was, y'all trying to play me this way. Here's what we gonna do. Hey, and creating plays on the fly when you're in passing situations, right? We didn't figure it out, and they were trying to figure it out, and they didn't have the damn answer. I think the answer at this moment to me is to remain balanced, run off of this damn play action because we got away from that shit. Run the play action, and I think you'll have success moving forward. B Bird. What's good, B Bird? Long time no speak.
Yeah, man, I've been a little busy at work. How you been doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. And Scott, just to preface this, I didn't see your whole show, but I did have a question for you. So, of course, I've been on record of saying that, our whole offense and our team is a running team. We have to establish a run first, and then we do play action off that and do other things off that. Make teams have to, use resources to stop our run. The thing, and we've been doing real well lately because we've been keeping it simple, stupid. Just doing what we do and getting an identity. But one of the things that kind of came across, and I think a couple of YouTubers have picked up on it, was when Kellen said the other day, "Hey, I throw every play. That's what I want to do." So to me, and even in that interview last year when it asked about Amari Cooper's more targets in that game, and he said not just a product of the offense. To me, there's some arrogance in both of those statements. But the thing is that do you really believe that? It's that thing that law says. It says those convinced against their will of the same opinion still. Do you think he could ever really buy into the run game? Because he act like he does it out of a necessity to please Mike McCarthy, and he's still going against what he really does. It's almost like asking Steph Curry to play down low. They might do it with success, but that's not really what they want to do. And so, do you think he can really change?
All right, let me know if you can hear this real quick, bro. 1 second, because I'm gonna tell you why I don't know if I believe this. Hold up.
Earlier in your play calling career,
can you hear that?
were you as persistent with the run when you're kind of beating your head against the wall like that?
Everything inside of me wanted to throw the football the entire Sunday. So you learn, you grow.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear it. Yeah, that's the one I heard that kind of concerned me because to me, there's no buy-in on it. You know what I'm saying? There's no buy-in on this. Right. Hey, man, we're better when we establish a run. And to me, Boss pointed out that some of the runs was almost like, hey, let me just do this to shut you up, because there was no creativity into it. Because what I'm saying, if you really did say, hey, man, we got a formula here that we can use. Hey, let's get creative with it and do this and do that off of it and really take this thing to another level if you believed in it.
Dribble
but can I tell you why
with a purpose.
Go on.
Run with a purpose. That's it. That's it right there, brother. If they can dribble with the purpose in the run game, but in every play should be that way. Every play, in my opinion, should be a play to set something up later. I'm looking for this tweet that I had I want to put up here. Okay, it says right here. Yesterday when I was watching this film, and I said this after the game too, but I like to see Dallas go back to the quick snap changeup they used versus the Giants and bring back the creative run calls from that same game. We didn't see those creative run calls in this Washington game. It was way more simple. A ton of running out the shotgun up the A gaps with no motion, no guys. And then when they decided to do pre-snap motion or at-snap motion, they actually were pretty good at it. So to answer your question, right now, October 6th, am I confident that he's gonna, that he really wants to run the rock with a purpose? Not right now. I need to see a little bit more before I'm like, yep, Kellen has completely changed. But maybe he's learning. Maybe we're just going through that learning phase.
Well, one of the things too, I I look at an offensive coordinator and I say, okay, if he aspires to be a head coach, how does he show his genius? How does he show how does he wow the league?
Yeah.
Really, it's through the air. It's not through running the ball. And so, really, I think part of it in his mind is like, wait a minute, just running the ball, anybody can do that. But hey, I like throwing it around, being creative, showing everybody what I can do. Putting up 30 or 40 points. That's how I'll get a job, not by averaging 20 points a game and relying on my defense to stop everybody. That doesn't get me a job. So I think part of that could be in play too, because it just doesn't show all what he can do. And so I don't think he's bought into it. But if you really buy into it, man, I think it just makes the whole offense click. The wide receivers don't have to be as good because they're one-on-one. Just like if you really bought into it. Now, Mike McCarthy has definitely bought into it. I would say the turnaround was with him when he just basically, and some of the things that you pointed out, basically said, hey, no, we're going to run the ball. That first game, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to establish a run, and we're going to play really good defense behind that. Our strength is our offensive line. Our strength is our running backs. Let's use those guys. And we've been doing real well with that because we've been doing a lot of play action off of it, and it's been successful, man. So I just hope that when Dak comes back that we can keep that same thing. I just don't know if Kellen has bought into
better.
Running the ball. Yeah, because the thing is that now you have a $40 million quarterback back. So, well, we're not just going to be a game manager with him, but if you want to win, that's how you ought to be. But anyway, Scott, hey, I took up enough of your time, brother. I just wanted to call and touch base and just see what you thought about Kellen and his dedication to running game, lack thereof. And I'll talk to you later, brother.
Appreciate it, big dog. I was trying to bring up, that's B-Bird, y'all. I was trying to bring up my tweet. Couldn't do it. All right, now my whole thing messing up on me. Here we go. Anyway, another thing I had, we always talk about this, what happened week 1. Bucs linebacker, we knew what they were going to do in the passing game, and we knew they weren't going to stay committed to the run. Film showed they didn't respect play action or run game. McCarthy steps in, checks Kellen, less option routes, more run balance. Result, one of the best play action teams in the league. If this season continues the way it's going, I think Mike McCarthy has to get a lot of credit, man. He's got to get a lot of credit for, I know people are going to say finally, but hey, better late than never. Better late than never. We got 2 more. I'm going to lock these up. We're going to try to get 908 back in here. Then we're going to finish off with Lawson, and we're done here. 908, what it is, what it do?
Hey, there. Thank you. Welcome back. Let me get you off speakerphone.
There you
have
go.
No problems.
Nah, you good. You sound, it's perfect.
Okay. Yo, listen. Check this out, Scott LaRock. You rocking, man. We give big ups to you right now. I just want to say that. But I want to understand, do you remember me talking to you a while ago before the season started? I said, on defense, I don't want to flip the table. But I said, you know what? Let Van go up there and stand in that A-gap like PAL, little young things, and let them have some fun.
Let who?
Remember that?
No, you said let who go in the A-gap?
Yeah, let Van in the A-gap. Remember the Van? And the next call after me was like, nah, it's next. Nah, let him stand up.
Leighton Vander Esch. Are you the dude
right.
we was kind of having fun with, like, let Leighton Vander Esch be the defensive tackle?
908. There we go.
so yeah,
now,
go
let
ahead.
me tell you something. Hey, check this out. Now, the next thing I said, you know what? We don't need nobody else. We good. We got people to stand up. We drafted good. Mm-hmm. We got people standing up. The next man up. That's the whole thing about it, offense and defense. Oh, my God. I did not see Peters coming over here. Oh, man. Jerry pulled the biggest one right there. They got that grown man right there to play next to Smith. Oh, my God. That offensive line. You see what it is, man.
Well,
it's crazy.
What you think they going? Do you think Peters going to be the starter this week?
Yo, I was thinking. Listen, this is the first time we was coming to the system, right? We was worrying about the offensive line not having enough people. We got everybody now, and then we got Rush came in, did his thing.
Rushed in, didn't he?
Now of course, let's run this ball, smash mouth.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Y'all just came back. Just give Get Gallup 6 here, catch 6.
I got you,
Let
man.
him get up in there. Right.
The conference has been unlocked.
It's the first time, right? Rick, right? I've never seen it. I really didn't see. I'm like, oh my God, season's over with. But you know what? We got hope.
They showed some resilience,
we got
man.
Things
Yeah.
going on. We're gonna run this ball, and we know this one thing I like about last week. He knew, so you know what? We're gonna smash mouth these guys regardless. They can stop Pollard right now, but we're gonna still doing this and feed this with Zeke up in there. And you see how the offensive line come in, certain plays come in, people come in. Now we got a whole offensive line that got some. My man Nate New continuity with everybody right there. When that comeback is on, it's on.
All right.
It's on. The blocking, everybody, the rookie tight ends, everything. The offense is gonna be rocking.
The conference has been locked.
Y'all ain't sneaking up in there.
So yeah, Scott, I just want you to understand you rocking, bruh. And
Appreciate it, man.
Just remember that what I said about that defense. But we definitely gonna have to stop the run. I know I'm taking it off, but yeah, we starting somewhere. Put Van up there, stand him up. You see what happened with the rush? What's going to happen next week? Well, coming. Watch what's going to happen. Watch my defense and watch my offense pile and mold and everything else. And Gallup's going to get at least 5 touches. They're going to get about 60 yards and maybe a touchdown. Mark my word.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate the call,
All
good
right,
brother.
Scott, keep it rocking, bro. I love you.
Thanks, man. What'd you
Take
say?
care.
You
Cowboys for life.
Hold on, wait. You say Scott or Sky?
Scott.
Why Scott?
SCOTT.
Oh no! What? Oh no! No! It's Skywalker.
Oh, Skyrocker.
Oh Lord, he done called me Scott. Scott's Tots. No, it's Skywalker, not Scott.
Yo, Scott was not. Let me tell you something. I grew up. The person that grew my little cousin. Well, he's my big cousin. He's 4 years old.
Big
True
cousin
story.
Scott.
I'm like, yo, Scott. That was Scott.
Oh man,
that boy he taught me football.
Oh,
that's
Scott.
why I can talk to this day. Bless his soul. Long time. Yep.
Rest in
so
peace,
yo,
Scott.
my bad.
Oh, it's all
I'm on
good.
the AZ though, right?
You on A to Z Sports, but this Skywalker.
Right. I got your number up there. I'm looking for AZ. I'm like, nah. I see I dialed there. I'm like, yo, it's this one.
Yeah, my man. Appreciate you, big dog.
But you understand, hey, Coach D, 908.
Yeah.
Call him through. Just say, give you big props and your flowers and everything else. Representing Elizabeth.
You know they about to kill me now in this chat. All right, brother. Appreciate you. No, we good. Oh, he got the name right. Appreciate you. So when he first came on, my man D, Coach D first came on, I'm like, did he say Scott something? I said, nah, no way. You know what I mean? I'm hearing it wrong. Then at the end, I definitely heard Scott. I don't look like a Scott. Now we got Scotty Too Hottie, Scott Steele. Y'all remember Scotty Too Hottie? Beam me up, Scotty. Scott from Skyland. Sky from Scotland. Appreciate you, Coach D. Coach D want to line LVE up at defensive tackle. That's what he said. Put him in A gap. Nah, man, Coach D. But listen, our defense is balling, Coach D. Scott Walker's crazy. Scott Walker. I thought I heard you say that. Anyway, another little 501 snuck up in here, but let me get to. I said I'm gonna get to Los 501, and I want to finish with Mel. I want to take my time. What's good, Los?
Buenos dias, Skywalker, man. How's your cup of coffee?
Huh? Wait. Buenos dias, who?
The what?
Buenos dias to who?
It's cutting off. Sorry, Sky. My
Check.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just. You said Buenos dias to
Skywalker.
Okay. All right. Just making sure you said Skywalker.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. We good.
Yeah, not Scott. That's Scott.
Scott's Tots. What's going on?
But hey, real quick point, man. You nailed it on the head. You do a great job, like always, Sky, with the film and all this week. like you say, man, I mean, if we find ways just to get points on the board against this Rams defense, then you basically have the Rams where you want them to throw the ball. And Matt Stafford, you want him to throw 35 times. So I feel if we can, if you can make him throw 30 times and take him away from what they want to do offensively against us, then it's a wrap. I'm not trying to sound super confident, but it's going to be up to the game plan and, if we're going to be prepared. I don't want to go out there like, oh, this is just another game. Let's do what we do, and that's it. But because if this is going to be a testimony game, I think this is it. And to leave off, Sky, you got to make a meme about that joke yesterday. Oh, that was hilarious.
Which one, man? Because there was a lot of them we had going on. You talking about on the VOT show?
The VOT show, yes. You got to make a meme about that joke, man.
Oh, what, the white man can't jump?
Yeah, you got to. You got to put Allenson Robinson and then Cooper Kupp right next to each other from that movie. All right, man.
I got you.
See you later.
I
Have a
got
great
you.
morning.
Appreciate you, Los. Hey, Los, you damn right. I'm gonna make a meme now. You hear that, Vach? I'm making a goddamn meme for that. That was funny. Let me tell you with the Boston Scientific. I was gonna give it to. Where'd you go? TC915. He said he got it right though. Sky does need a rocker for his Boston Scientific ass. So we gonna get the Boston Scientific read here, but I got to give it to my man Professor O. Anybody know Scott's Tots? He said, "Hey, Mr. Scott Walker, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Make our dreams come true." Yo, Scott's Tots might be the most uncomfortable episode of The Office. Salute to you, Professor O. That's our Boston Scientific fan focused comment in the morning. What you gonna do? Make our dreams come true. Hey, if you're suffering from ED, there is an answer out there, guys. It can affect your self-esteem, impact your most important relationships. So take a free online assessment that you can share with your doctor. Click the ad to learn more. There's a permanent, satisfying solution to treat ED. The ad is in the description. So visit edcure.org to get the facts and find a urologist who can offer treatment options when others do not work. Again, that's edcure.org, sponsored by Boston Scientific. Yo, wow.
I'm here.
Nope, that's not the one I want. That ain't the one I want.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live.
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
We'll do it live.
Scott Linehan Walker. Hey, yo, yesterday, though, was a classic. Nobody does their own ads commercials. Put me on, my guy, Sky. I don't even know what else to say. Let's get back to these lines. Why not? Wait, hey, my man's still on the horn. Let's get to 501, then we're gonna finish off with my guy, Mel. What's good, 501? You live?
What's up, Skywalker Steele?
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I just want to thank you and Botch, man. Y'all do a fantastic job, man. And
thank you, man.
And, helping us fans out. And y'all doing great. Keep up the good work. And I like that fresh-ass line you got, man. You keep the fresh line.
Bro, I got to, man. I was looking at, listen, I don't play about that. I come on here every day. I treat this like TV. You know what I'm saying? So I make sure this thing is right as much as I can.
I appreciate that, man. You're making us look good out here, man. But I want to make a statement and I want to ask a question. My statement is, man, with us as fans, man, we need to stay as one.
Yeah.
Stop acting like Cooper is Mahomes and Dak is Alex Smith. Can we please like stop that? Dak is our quarterback. Cooper Rush is doing his job, and we appreciate that. Thanks, Cooper. You not turning the ball over. That's the main thing. But my question to you is, would you rather have Dak with this team, or would you rather have Cooper Rush with Von Miller, DJ Moore, and Roquan Smith?
There's not a scenario where I'd rather have Cooper Rush over Dak Prescott. But my guess is what you're saying is without Dak Prescott's $40 million, because I know people can go to his contract, $40 million per year, you can go get XYZ. Is that where you're going with this?
Yeah. Would you go with XYZ, or would you put the value in the quarterback position and just build around average quarterback? You know.
I would never, ever in my life of general managing build around an average quarterback. You may get by for a year with an average quarterback like a Cooper Rush, with the what's the cat in Chicago, the Brad Johnson at that time of his career, the Trent Dilfer. That may work for a year, 100%. But building around a Cooper Rush, no. Number one. Number two, what if I told you Dak Prescott's not costing you $40 million on the salary cap this year? He's not even costing you $20 million. What if I told you could have went out and got Von Miller and Roquan Smith or whatever? You could have added Bobby Wagner. You could have added 2 top-tier guys to this roster with Dak Prescott's contract. Would you rather that? Or would you rather?
Our linebackers are terrible. Our linebackers are, our linebackers are, it's the linebackers is stopping us. We have a top 5 defense, I say, and we could be number 1. So that was my question to you, man. I don't want to hold you up. I appreciate all you do, and how about them Cowboys?
Yes, sir. Appreciate the call, good brother. Yeah, it ain't a scenario in the world where I'm choosing Cooper Rush over Dak Prescott. And I'm imagining we're talking about both of these guys are healthy and all that stuff. We can throw caveats in there, but I don't know if there's like Cooper Rush stands out. I don't know. I don't even think Cooper Rush stan would think that, right? Like, I don't know. But I think the hypothetical that the caller called into does lack the context that you can still get these guys. Like, we're under this assumption that because of what the Cowboys are saying, basically is what it is. Stephen Jones telling you, we got the pie. Like, the pie is bullcrap. That you can't go out and get these guys. That's not true. They choose not to. They choose not to. Your quarterback was making pennies for years. Do I need to bring up the free agents the Cowboys brought in? Not nothing in this world. What's good, Mel?
King Scott. Hey King, can I get the drop from The Office where we put the
You right. I got you, bro. I don't got the actual sound clip, I don't think, but I got the visual. Let me see if I can find it. But go ahead.
Yeah, man, that last call, all I could think of was, ooh, bro, they got you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But man, last year, man, we talked a lot about the big show me games, and I felt, and I think you felt the same way. We lost really all of those games. All of the big-time games that were show-me games last year, we fell short in those games.
Mm-hmm.
This year, I feel like we 1-1 in those games. I'm going to say the Tampa Bay game, and I'm going to say the Cincinnati game. I think even the most pessimistic Cowboy fan would figure we were going to beat the Giants and the Washington team. Now, they may not have thought we were going to beat them without Dak, but I think we all marked those games as 2 wins.
Right.
This game, to me, I don't care if the Rams are playing like they got no feet under them or whatever. It's still a big game whenever you're playing a defending champs. It's still a big game. So I'm really excited for this week, man. This is a huge game, bro. I wanted to call about the biggest fear or your biggest concern. My biggest concern is really if the Rams offense gets going. If the Rams offense finds some balance, right now they're I'm out here in LA. I will be at the game. But my biggest concern is if they get other players going besides Cooper Rush, if Allen Robinson gets going, if Tyler Higbee gets going along with Cooper Rush, and we can't keep up scoring-wise, if it gets into that type of game, that's really my biggest concern because it's still a very talented team. They just not playing with really any balance.
Right, yeah, and that's what I said on Cowboys 4th and Long, and I think I mentioned it briefly today. Like, at the end of the day, there's still guys out there. There's still a good coach team. They're in a rut, and we don't want them to get out that rut this week. Don't let it be this week. Let it be the following week or weeks later. I don't give a damn when they do it. Just don't let it be this week because we've seen them get out of that rut last year when they were dealing with this kind of situation. Same thing with, the quarterback was throwing interceptions. The offense was sputtering a bit. They was trying to find themselves, and then they did find themselves. So don't let it happen this week, man.
Yeah, man, that's really my biggest concern, bro, is like you say, don't let them get out the rut this week. I want to see what type of game Kellen calls because I'm included, and I feel like a lot of people are haters of Kellen, not critics of Kellen. And the difference is if you see Kellen doing some good things, you see the game plan being called well, you got to give him props for that. If you see, it's not about, he's calling a good game, but it's only because of this or it doesn't matter. He really is calling a good game. And Mike McCarthy deserves a lot of credit, too, for that
100.
Because I really do feel like Mike called him in that back room and was like, all right, bro, I done let you do your thing long enough. This going to have to be the direction going forward. So I hope that continues this week because it did feel like last year in those show-me games, we did see different game plans. So I really want to see how the game is called this week, man.
Yeah. What did we call them last year? I forget what it was, but you're right. We used to talk about them.
It wasn't show-me. It was another name, though, you have for it, but I can't remember, so I'm just calling it show-me game.
I know I forget what it was like measuring game or something. But I'll go back and listen. We'll figure it out. But yeah, we dubbed the Patriots one as one of those games because the Cowboys hadn't won on the road in New England and they got it done. We dubbed the Chiefs one of those games. I think the Cardinals was one.
Cardinals, Tampa.
I'm missing one. Tampa. Yeah, Tampa was at the beginning of the year. So, yeah, there was about 4 or 5 of those games on the schedule where I forget what the name we were saying, but it was kind of, one of those. I hate to use the term statement. That's too simple, right? Like, they're all statement games. But in a way, that was a statement game, and we came away winning like one of those. So, yeah, we got to do better with that.
We got to do better with that, man. But I'm going to let you go, bro. Thank you for all you do, brother. And I'm going to check you on later with on the volume.
Well, we won't be on today, guys.
Oh, well, breaking news. We will not be on the volume today. Breaking news.
No, not today. I didn't know if I was supposed to break that news. I see Vosh, my brother's in the chat right now. But, yeah, no show today, but I'm sure we'll have some things for you guys for the rest of the week. Appreciate you, Mel.
Then we will be catching out more later on tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Peace.
So, first the Fat Boys breakup. It ain't got nothing to do with that. And you know what's funny, Vosh? Now that I think about this out loud, we probably should have told them yesterday because I wonder if people gonna think because of what happened in that show, which it was hilarious. It was a fun show. Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Yo, did Colin? Did Colin get him?"
Voch Lombardi, please report to Callen's office. Voch Lombardi, please report to Callen's office.
Facts, the Booker T. We had a couple Booker T moments.
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you.
Yo, ain't nothing wrong. We cool. We still got our jobs. But we just got lives. And things come up. We got things to take care of. You know what I'm saying? We all right. Sky breaking news, Booker T. I love the Booker T hand thing. I might have to find a GIF that we can use because that is hilarious. Brian Bradford dropped some. So we're going to jump into the chat. Get up out of these phones. Brian Bradford said that the Tyron Smith is on the cords. That's interesting. The Volume Show was so good yesterday. It was a classic. 100% a top 5 show, period. Bro, that day was the day I knew his name really wasn't Scott. Not at all. Guy said Sky and Vosh got written up and suspended. Yo, that show was funny. I might go back and watch it again. All right, man, what y'all got? We about to get up out of here. And look, I did lie. I said we wasn't going to be long. But to be fair, my portion of the show was not long. And y'all know how this go. We want the show to be long. You call in, and y'all did that, and we had some great calls today, man. Some great calls. Wait till Monday, Marcus. That's a volume thing. I like to keep that moving over there. I mean, you could drop one here. You used to do it before. You can, no problem. But I like to do it over there. Ted said, "What the what? Yeah, no show, y'all." I'm acting like a Scott today. Not a chance. Vosh probably like, what is he talking about? So somebody called into the show and they thought my name was Scott Walker. I don't know. So he kept calling me Scott. I just want to make sure I wasn't crazy. Speaking of Scotty Laxton, I'll give McCarthy credit for disciplining Kellen. 100%, man.
Earlier in your play calling career, were you as persistent with the run when you're kind of beating your head against the wall like that?
Everything inside of me wanted to throw the football the entire Sunday. So but you learn, you grow.
Yeah, he's smacking that hand. Lemetra says, Sky need to say till 11 since it ain't no show later. Hell no. To the no. I'm good. Scott Walker is a Rams receiver that Stafford likes to throw to. I promise you gotta go watch that part, man. Oh no, he said Sky Rocker. All right, man. Yeah. Hey, Coach D, you gotta call back in tomorrow, bro. We gotta correct this. We gotta get this right. Maybe I need to put my name at the bottom. Do I got it over here somewhere? Hey, it's real tiny right there, but I'm gonna keep this here so you can see it. Scott still. Great Scott. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. We're just gonna keep on doing these Scott things. Do me a favor, y'all. Hit this like button on the way out. He really called me Skyrocker. Yo, that's wild. I'd rather roll with that, to be honest with you. Scott Walker and Skyrocker is crazy. He completely missed the boat. Hit the like button, y'all. So your boy Skyrocker can get these, you know what I mean? These raises and stuff like that. This helps. This is the virtual currency, as my guy Voch likes to say. The only way people are going to know my name is by growing this thing. My guy, Coach D, don't know my name because I still ain't, you know what I mean? And that's cool. That's cool, Coach D. Hey, you wouldn't have got Stephen A's name wrong. Yeah. You wouldn't have got his name wrong.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
He would have been cool. But it's all good. Skyrocker sounds like an 80s rock singer. I'm thinking of the Rockers when I hear Skyrocker. Don't get me started. I'll drop that. I will get the Rockers theme and we'll turn this into a thing, but it is what it is. Later tonight, it feels like a Friday. Mauricio Rodriguez, a.k.a. Mo-Rod, will be back on A to Z Sports Prime Time. Make sure y'all check him out. And you can't see it anymore, but it'll be scrolling here on the DFW turf ticker. The number one artificial turf in the DFW area. Check them out, dfwturf.com. Skywalker is still on Twitter. You can follow me over there. I'll probably still be talking about Scott Walker and Skyrocker. But I'll be talking about this game as we get ready for the Rams. Tomorrow, we'll probably talk about my keys to victory. I might do X Factors. We'll see which one. And we'll wrap up the week, man. Been a pretty good week. Low-key, kind of long. But we got through it, man. And let's keep this thing rocking. Make sure y'all hold y'all heads. Y'all stay safe. Take care of your mentals. And your what? Your chicken. Spell it. No more Scott after this. Yeah. This is what I love about y'all. Y'all will take something, and we do this too, and y'all will run with it and make it a thing. And that's why we love it. The best community out there. I won't be on the volume later, so don't look for us. We out of here. Love you. Peace. The alter ego is Scott Walker. Gotta do the alter ego voice.
Yeah, it's your boy Scott Walker.
Wisconsin forever.
Hold up. My lady said the bomb squad is now Scott's Tots.
Bomb Squad!